Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our weekly climate dispatch. I'm Johanna Miller, the Energy and Climate Program Director at Vermont Natural Resources Council, joined here per usual, often with my fabulous colleague, Lauren Hierl of Vermont Conservation Voters. And we are so appreciative to have the time today of Vice Chair Laura Sibilia, who is on the House Energy and Technology Committee. I hope many of you know that Representative Sibilia has been a long and strong champion of climate action and really helped to lead and deliver on the Global Warming Solutions Act, which is an iterative, now operationalized in state government framework to focus on climate action broadly, doing our part to reduce pollution and creating more resilient and adaptive communities that work for everyone. And that is really, I know Representative Sibilia is something so important to you and to us. And now we have this really exciting framework and we have a lot of work to do. But we are in the midst of that work. And one core component of doing that work is ensuring that our municipalities are partners in the process and that we're leaving no municipalities behind. And so Representative Sibilia has been doing a huge amount of work and has introduced a bill. We've been giving you a sense of this for several weeks now, but this is an opportunity to go in depth with Representative Sibilia on H518, the Municipal Energy Resilience Initiatives bill. So really focused on helping our municipalities reduce fossil fuel reliance and become more, become more resilient and make sure that they are, it is an equitable and affordable transition, the one that we need to make. I'm not going to say anymore. Representative Sibilia has been working tirelessly on this really important bill. So thank you for giving us the highlights, Representative, and thank you so much for all you have been doing. So take it away.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me here to talk a little bit about this. It is a bill that is still has a little bit of emerging that it is doing. We're going to go over the first kind of big bringing together of the original 518 and the governor's proposal, which we were delighted to find in his budget proposal, something that looked similar to 518. So 518 started as a means for us to try and connect resources, people, technical assistance, and make sure that we give every town the best chance at connecting to deal with, plan with, implement solutions for climate change. Something that we are all concerned about, the reason that we passed the Global Warming Solutions Act. I'm a co-chair of the rural working group in the House, and I'm always thinking about these little guys. And Vermont doesn't have regional government, county government. We have municipal government, and so when we think about all 250 of our plus a lot of them little towns, many of them little towns run by volunteers. For me, I think, how do we give as many Vermonters as possible the chance to adapt and become resilient, particularly in this moment when there are resources and attention that are available. And so 518 really started out with two components, looking at how do we connect, three components. How do we connect folks on the ground, municipalities, be it town energy committees, or if there is no town energy committee, working with the select board or town council or a group of volunteers, and connect those folks to our regional planning commissions. That's a model that happens on other items. And then connect those folks to state level resources. And in this instance, that would be Buildings and General Services and Efficiency Vermont. And Building and General Services because they have a state energy management plan. And we had a pilot program that was looking to expand a state building energy management program to municipalities. And so looking to build on that. So we're putting in place that kind of technical human kind of connections, municipal, regional, state. And then we want to do some assessments around what needs to happen in our municipal buildings in order to have them reduce their fossil fuel usage and become more resilient. The Global Warming Solutions Act, which you noted, Joey, that's fully underway. Our progress towards the targets that we have to meet, we're there, so we're looking to how do we do this? We know thermal and transportation are the biggest places that we need to cut. So looking at our municipalities, looking at all of 2,000 plus buildings that our municipalities own, how can we get some emissions reductions in there and save money and stay warm, and also create some stability. We know fossil fuel usage, I think it's like 60 cents, 70 cents increase this year over last year. We know that price is going up and down, and as we're all adapting to climate change, that's going to continue. So looking at technical assistance, now we're looking to do assessments of our municipal buildings. How can we do this? How can we reduce fossil fuel usage? How can we increase resiliency, weatherization? I mean, these are things that we do in other places. But this is specifically municipalities, and then funding those projects up to $200,000. So that's where we started. And then Governor Scott came in with the budget and brought forward something called resilient communities. And much to my delight, that looks like something that the Rural Resilience Subcommittee of the Climate Council has been working on, which is something that's near and dear to my heart. And the governor's proposal is to look at a much more comprehensive level around resilience for a community, around battery storage and potential solar siting, and do we have a shelter, and are we as efficient as possible with our resources? And it sought to put $1 million into up to $1 million into those programs. So what we ended up doing, or what we're doing, is pulling into 518. We are pulling into that assessment piece where we originally were just assessing municipal buildings. We're saying, okay, we really like the governor's notion that we should be looking broadly at communities and how they can be more resilient. They should be thinking about a number of different things. And so we're increasing what communities will be able to do some planning and consulting and getting ready for, and then keeping that funding in place, the grant funding in place specifically for municipal thermal projects, reducing fossil fuel usage. So I like this. I kind of feel like it gets our humans kind of connected, thinking about climate, gets some dollars for assessing around resilience, and puts in place a pot of money for the first type of projects. And we know communities are going to have to come back and do more and more work around resilience. So that's where we are. And 30 minutes we'll be in committee. We're still making sure the pieces fit correctly. We'll have a few little edits. And so I'm hoping that our final bill will be available next week, and working with the chair on the timing of when that might get voted out.
That is excellent. Thank you so much for that overview, and thanks for your leadership on this. I think it's so exciting to see the transition from Global Warming Solutions Act, which, as Joey said, you are a really key leader, and I think setting up exactly these kinds of conversations and building the momentum to really invest in and put in place these types of programs. So it's really exciting to see, and thank you for all you're doing on that. One thing I just wanted to note in addition was this week, the environmental community put out our common agenda of legislative priorities. So we'll put a link to that. This bill was highlighted as one of our climate initiatives. So really excited we were able to go a little deeper with you all and share the overview of what it means and why it's such a priority for us. And for these weekly updates, we always like to end with a call to action. And this week, we know that so many of you who watch the Climate Dispatch are either involved in your town energy committee or are involved in working with your community, whether that could be pulling people together to think about how could your community benefit. You know, we're going to need good local folks and leaders who care about this stuff to be doing that work with your communities, with the regional planning commissions, and these experts to really make this happen. So we would love for you all to be really thinking about that, knowing this program is hopefully coming. And we would love to hear stories too, if there's examples of what you are thinking for your communities, so that we could feed that into Representative Sibilia's committee and like the ongoing work in the legislature, so people understand the types of need that's out there. So we would love to hear from you if you've got thoughts, and hopefully this is something that you all will just get plugged into and could really help move forward. So we will keep in touch with you on that. Thank you again, Representative Sibilia. Hope you all are able to get out and enjoy some of this fresh, fluffy snow. And we will be back with you next week.